Hey, here's something new for you. I'm in California and the wind is blowing and the sun is hidden behind a cloud and it's starting to rain. And here I am, not smart enough to come in out of the rain, but hey, I got stuff for you. Besides, I'm the wiser advisor. Let me share this with you. Be decisive in your life. It's important you be decisive, right or wrong. You all got to make a decision. The road of life is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision. Just the other day in a show, I spoke about Calgary, Canada, Calgary, Alberta, and I said that, hey, they got issues there, don't you know, because downtown Calgary, high-rise buildings, 30% of them are vacant. Entire buildings, entire high-rise buildings, there's nobody around, not even the janitor shows up anymore. Hey, how do you fix it? I said at the end of that show, I know how to do that, and several people have written saying, how? Explain to me, how come you're so smart? And here it is, let me start with this. Alberta, are you feeling down? Here's a story about Bob. Bob lives in Calgary, and Bob, you know what? He woke up one morning and the alarm clock, it went bzzzt, and it was from Japan. And then he had coffee, and the pot was made in China, and then he shaved, and the razor was made in Hong Kong, and then he dressed, and he put on a shirt made in Czechoslovakia, and then he put on pants made in Turkey, jeans were made in Singapore, and the shoes were made in Korea. Boy, he was dressed though, and then he thought, I'll go out and have breakfast, so he got out a frying pan and it was made in Korea. And then he wanted to find out what he was going to do for the day, and it was all about money. So he got a hold of the calculator, and it was made in Taiwan. Then he put his watch on, it was made in the Philippines, and he drove away looking for a job. Okay, and he got into his German-made car, and he went and gassed up at Esso, and the gas, of course, came from Saudi Arabia, and then he continued his drive looking for a job in Canada. It was too early to drink, I guess, but the wine probably would come from another country as well. So that's Alberta. How do you like that now? Now let's swing back to those buildings. Downtown Calgary, 30% of them are vacant. It used to be almost 20 million or 20 some odd million or billion, I'll get this right, dollars worth of assessed value, and now it's like a fraction of that, and the city has lost billions of dollars with regard to the tax base. How do you fill up these buildings? Talk to Bob, because everything that he has on that is made in other countries, everything that Walmart sells that are made in other countries can be made in those empty buildings. Absolutely. Go to Hong Kong, you'll see 3 high-rises side by each, and one is a residential complex where people live, another one is an office building, and the other one, the third one, it's factories. Every floor they make a widget and a widget. Why wouldn't you do that in Calgary? Come on already. And then you have Kenney and his government. He would be the Premier of Alberta. What does he do? His focus, I don't know what his focus is. You know what? I think he wears dark glasses. I mean, he doesn't have the vision, but he spent over $30 million to have what he calls a war room. It's all about oil. Why don't you take that money and help the people somehow? I mean, fill up the buildings. Go to people and say, hey, I got a plan. Nobody has a plan. That would be the problem, because it ain't that tough. You don't have to be a scientist to figure this out. Empty buildings, you need to fill them up. Stores, why are you sending your money to China and Germany and all these other places anyway? Son of a gun. I want to share another piece of wisdom with you. That'll be airplanes. I've marveled so often and so many times about empty airplanes flying all over in this economy. Why do they do that? I just found out. In order for the airlines to keep their aircraft and crews certification up to date, they have to log so many hours. So they have to fly those empty planes, and I've been in some of them. Now I know, just saying. One of our viewers wrote in and he said, hey, could you please talk about the government and the digital currency business is scaring the bejeebers out of me. I think we will be under complete control of the government if this happens. We're under control anyway, but I get it. And I think you have to understand what cryptocurrency is. And it's not necessarily a bad thing for the government to control it, if in fact it's the only currency. I mean, it's coming. Other countries are preparing for this, and they have been for a number of years with regard to blockchain and so on. And I think if you have a whole bunch of different currencies, it's probably not a good thing. But if the government has one, exactly like they do now, they have money, they have dollar bills, right? And it may not be all bad. However, that said, the Canadian government will make it better, because they couldn't manage a 2-person barbecue, so they will screw it up, no question. I prefer to leave it like it is. Dollar bills are good. Get rid of the loonies, get rid of the toonies, bring back the penny. Why not? Because it makes sense. Pardon the pun there. I met a liberal just the other day. True story. I knew right away that there was nothing to talk about, so I thought to keep it civil. So I thought, I'll talk about the weather and I'll talk about sports. I'm originally from Alberta. Those are the 2 things you talk about, right? What a mistake that was. Weather, he went right into global warming. Sports, he went into taking a knee. I said, what is wrong with you? I said, what can we possibly talk about? It was a mystery. Finally, I said to him this. I said, answer this question. And he couldn't answer it, wouldn't answer it. Here was the question. Which school do you believe is more likely to be attacked by a gunman? One that has a sign in front that reads gun-free zone, or one that reads this school has armed personnel? He kept talking about police and different things, and I kept repeating the question. I said, deal with the question. And he couldn't, and he wouldn't, and it was kind of interesting. Are they trained? I said, stop it. Just answer the question. If you had a choice, and you're a criminal, and you saw those signs, what would your choice be? Would you go, you're here to do a bad thing. What a waste of time, these people. Here's a reporter, I think for the Toronto Star, which of course kind of says a lot all by itself, Susan Delacourt. I've read some of her stuff before, and she's a real leftist, right? She's way over there. And the headline about Canada, the story is about Canada, and about how Canada's now number 5 on some list and with regards to the global democracy rankings, right? And the headline, though, says this: compared to Donald Trump's America, democracy in Canada is looking very good. That's not true. What does she mean by that? There's a lot more democracy in the U.S. today, even under Biden, than there is in Canada. You know, Donald Trump, he sure gets a bad rap. You know, I'm still a fan of Donald Trump. The only reason that I would ever turn on him would be if I found out that he slept with Nancy Pelosi. Hey, y'all, come back tomorrow. We're going to more for you from the right. The sun will be shining. See ya.